Now, this is my pleasure. Mic's not on? Hello? Now? So, I'm very delighted to, yes, now it's very delighted to introduce our own Dr. Robert P. Sellers, who is the chair of the Board of Trustees of the Parliament of the World's Religions. He is a professor of theology at Hardin-Simmons University in Texas. He is a member of the Interfaith Relations and Collaboration Table of the National Council of Churches and the Interfaith Relations Commission of the Baptist World Alliance. Please join me welcoming Dr. Sellers.
May I begin by expressing my deep gratitude to our First Nations sisters and brothers who have so graciously welcomed us to your traditional lands. Thank you so very much. Welcome, global interfaith friends, to the 7th convening of the Parliament of the World's Religions. We're pleased to have you here in Toronto as we anticipate this challenging and fascinating week together. Our theme is the promise of inclusion and the power of love. Your Parliament leaders believe that inclusion and love are essential acts that can make our world a safer and more beautiful place to live. The phrases that comprise our theme are rich and profound. They're not just catchy or clever, but rather they signal the hope for a new tomorrow. Inclusion just doesn't describe the status of those formerly excluded but now included. Rather, the concept of inclusion points to the conversion that occurs when one discovers that she belongs. Inclusion is exhilarating. It carries a gratifying subtext that says, I'm equal, I'm accepted, I'm valued, I have a place. Love, which motivates one's desire to be inclusive, is not mere sentimentality or friendship or romance or even devotion. While emotive, love is also cerebral and volitional. It's a decision of the mind and the will as well as a feeling of the heart. Love is a verb. It demands a particular way of acting toward the one who is loved. When love and inclusion govern our engagement with others, we radically enlarge the circle of our friendships, and the global village becomes our neighborhood. This week, how do the promise of inclusion and the power of love address the crucial concerns of this gathering? Will these values determine how we will treat Indigenous peoples whose land and livelihoods and legacy have been stolen? Will they reframe how we view women and girls in our communities and restore to them the dignity they deserve? Will these ideals seal our commitment to protect the earth and all of its inhabitants in these days of desperate climate change and natural disaster? Will they expand our understanding of global injustices and galvanize our intention to act on behalf of the marginalized? Will these principles cause us to respond to conflicts peacefully and generously, where we have traditionally reacted perhaps with hate, violence, and even war? Will they enable us to accept humbly and to celebrate joyfully the wisdom and leadership of millennials and Generation Z young adults, in whose hands, hearts, and heads rests the future? And will inclusion and love shape the ways that we shall forever relate to persons who follow religions and spiritual paths different from our own? And so we begin our week together praying that our collective efforts will bear wonderful fruit in our lives, and trusting that the Parliament can be a microcosm of our stunningly diverse world and what it can become: inclusive and loving. Welcome to the Parliament, brothers and sisters.